Hey friends, and welcome to this special episode I am dedicating to all of you interested in starting your very own podcast. 2 years ago when I was contemplating and scared to start my show, you would have never been able to tell me that I would be sharing what I did to help someone else. But here I am, 40 listens away from 1,000 downloads in under 3 months since I launched my podcast, the Jennuine Life Podcast. So I have received a ton of questions regarding, if podcasting is simple, what equipment I use, where do I host it, how do I distribute, and I decided to share everything for you right here in a special episode with the links to the equipment that I use below, podcasters that I'm influenced by, as well as YouTube videos that I have watched, all linked below. And I'm hoping that this episode will just begin to narrow things down a bit for you and help you start in the right direction to launching your podcast. Because listen, we need to hear you. The world needs to hear what you have to say. And I am excited for you. And I'm hoping that this episode gives you just a little bit of the boost that you need to put the fear aside and get started. So as a quick disclaimer, I am approaching this episode with the assumption that you already know what you want to talk about, that you have a title, that you have a general idea of the topics that you'll be covering, but that you're just unsure of where to start. So I'll be sharing the things that I used that could help you get started, but I would also suggest checking out the links that I have provided below for you to take a deeper dive into each of these topics. Many of the people that I'll be linking from YouTube also have other videos with other equipment that might be better for you or that you might choose to go with. But just know that everything that I'll be sharing with you today are just the things that I have done to help me get started. Because, it's information overload out there in the Google world and YouTube University. There's like thousands of things to sift through, and it's hard after a while to figure out what really works and what doesn't. So I'm hoping that this will help kind of narrow things down for you. The main thing that I need for you to get out of this episode is for you to just start, okay? It's never going to be the right time. There's always going to be an excuse for you not to, but I can promise you this. After you record the first, second, third episode, it just gets easier and easier and easier, and you're going to wonder why you didn't start in the first place, okay? So I want to jump right into things because we have a little bit to cover. The very first thing that I would tell you to do that has helped me tremendously is to do your research. So if you haven't already, you want to start listening to podcasts. And I'm sure that you are like, Jennifer, I already do. That's why I want to start one. And I bet you do. But I want you to listen now for structure, not necessarily for the content that's being shared, but I want you to listen to how the podcast is structured. Do you want a co-host? Do you want a solo pod? How often do you want to push out content? Do you want an intro, an outro, or do you just want to jump right into the episode? All of these things will help you decide the direction that you want to go in when you get ready to launch. Listen to the structure that other people have and decide if you want the same. And to be honest with you, I'm still figuring this out. Sometimes I just want to jump right into the episode. There are a few episodes where I've shared a quick snippet of, what I'll be talking about that day. In the very beginning, I had an intro and, I'm just kind of learning as I go along, but it does help when you want to begin launching. You'll have a pretty set idea of what you want to do so that you're not flip-flopping like me. All right, let's move into what I'm pretty sure a lot of you are curious about, and that is equipment. So to be very honest with you, my very first episodes, I would say the first 3, were recorded in a studio out here in Seattle. And shout out to Cloud Studios in Capitol Hill. They are amazing. A lot of what I've learned about podcasting came from them. They had 2 options where you could book studio time with a producer, or you could choose to just rent the studio and you would be responsible for everything on your own. So the very first time that I went, I actually paid to have a producer in the studio with me. And to be honest with you, it was one of the best decisions that I could have ever made. His name was Nick, and he was very, very helpful with regards to, answering questions about microphones, about my laptop, about editing, hosting, how to use the equipment in the studio, what to listen out for, how to record. I mean, just everything. It was the best investment I could have made. I only needed him. I would love to have a producer with me every day, but it was a one-time thing for me. That's how much information he provided me, and I was able to, take what he gave and research more and learn. But he gave an amazing foundation for me. And then the next couple of episodes after that, I think I recorded 2 more times in their studio, where I was able to rent it out and just go in on my own and do what I needed to do. So a studio is an option for you if you are in Seattle. Again, check out Cloud Studios. If you're not, I Googled, podcast studios in my local area and they came up. So there are options out there. I was pleasantly surprised at the cost to go in and rent for an hour or 2. And if you're fully prepared, you would just bulk record. So you can go in and record like 4 or 5 episodes in a matter of 2 hours, and you have an entire month done, which is the best way that I would do it. But I digress. A studio is a great option if it is in your budget. However, eventually, I decided that I wanted to have a more portable option. And as you can imagine, if there were days that I needed to record and maybe the podcast studio was booked, or, I had that trip to Atlanta coming up and I knew that I wanted to record on site, I started to do some research and look into a recording device that I could kind of carry around, a portable one that was reputable and was known for pretty good quality and all of those good things. So I landed on the Zoom H6 recorder. So I chose to go this route because it actually has 4 plugins. I'm pretty sure that's not the right word, but 4 spots on the recording device where I can plug in 4 different microphones. So at any point, if I choose to have guests on the show, I can have 4 people recording at the same time off of this device, and I would get 4 separate files, which is like a dream come true when it comes to editing your MP3 files. So that is the reason why I chose to go this route. They have cheaper models. If you know that you are not going to have guests on the show, you don't necessarily need 4. I just went, balls to the wall. I just figured I'd go ahead and get the one that gave me the most options because I like options. So that is the route that I went. I paid $330 for this recorder, and it has been the best purchase so far. It is small. It is lightweight. It does come in like this case kind of thing. Looks like a little mini suitcase with attachments that came along with it. It came with batteries. I mean, it had everything that I needed to go ahead and get started. It's super easy to use and easy for travel, which is something that I wanted as well. Again, if I'm recording on site somewhere, I wanted the option to be able to, pull this thing out, plug in the microphones, and let people record right on the spot. And it allows me to do that. So I love this handy recorder. Again, I will link it to my Amazon storefront, which is actually where I purchased most of the items that I'll be sharing with you today. They all came Amazon Prime. Sidebar, since we're in the middle of this pandemic, if your things come a little bit later, take a deep breath. They're working hard in those Amazon warehouses, okay? But obviously you could purchase it wherever this particular device is sold. It's just where I chose to purchase mine. The microphone. Now, you are going to hear a lot of different opinions about what microphone you should use for your podcast. And quite frankly, if buying something is not in your budget right now, you could totally use the headphones that Apple gives you out of the box for free. The point of the headphones is to be able to hear yourself as you're recording, so you could hear like noises that the microphone is picking up, or maybe if you need to back up from the mic or get a little bit closer. It's super helpful. So right now I settled with a mic that I am super, super, super pleased with. and did a lot of research on, and I will link the video to how I decided to go with this particular microphone. But I currently use the Shure SM58 dynamic microphone. And many celebrities and singers, rap artists, people who perform use this microphone because of the quality and the clarity and the sound that it picks up. Like, to be very honest with you, it's amazing because you don't have to be up close to it. I am literally sitting back comfortably right now in a chair, and the microphone is maybe 10 to 12 inches away from me right now. And so that is the main reason why I purchased this mic, is because of the quality. The price tag on this beauty is around $90, so it is a bit on the pricey side, but still quite affordable compared to many other expensive microphones out there. But I love it. It comes in a traveling case. It's lightweight, it's small, and it does the job. So yeah, the Shure SM50 dynamic microphone, I'll have that linked in the description box for you. Yeah, you'll need a pair of headphones as well. As I mentioned earlier when I was talking about the mic, you don't have to do anything super, super fancy, but I currently use the Beats Studio 3 headphones. They work just fine. Again, you can use headphones that come out of the Apple box, of your cell phone or whatever phone you have. They don't have to be super fancy. They're just the ones that I've had from before. Like, I work out with these, so I just plug them right into my recorder, and I'm able to, hear myself as I record. So that is the reason why you would need headphones. I would also suggest a pop filter or a microphone cover. So I don't know if you've ever listened to a podcast before, but if you get someone who does not have a pop filter on their mic, if they say any P words or B words, you get that I hope I did that right. And I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. But you almost get that like heavy air sound when they say like puffy or burger. I mean, it's just weird. So I suggest getting a pop filter. It is $3 and it will just elevate the quality of sound to another level. Please get a pop filter. Like, even then, like, if somebody's saying please get a pop filter, it would sound terrible. So without one. So go ahead and get you a pop filter and thank me later. Again, it's $3 and it will just enhance the sound quality of your podcast. Okay, you'll also need a laptop. So again, an HP, an Acer, a Lenovo. You don't need anything super, super fancy. I just happen to have a MacBook Air prior to starting this podcast, and so that is what I use. I have the rose gold one. I think it's like 13 inches. It's like one of the smaller ones. It was super, super affordable for me. It does the trick. I'm able to, upload my episodes here. I also edit in on my laptop as well. And so it just does everything that I need it to do. It's awesome. And yeah, that is what I use. So again, I will link this to the Amazon store, but please know you just need a laptop. So if you have a laptop at home, that's all you need. You can also record directly on your laptop as well. If you choose not to get a handheld device, please know that you can also use QuickTime. And record your episodes in there as well. So your laptop can have multiple uses for you if you choose to go that route. Speaking of editing, the current software that I use is called Audacity. It's very, very simple. All I did was I downloaded the software, literally opened it up, I upload my MP3 files, and I do a quick edit. Now, if you are a frequent listener of the Jennuine Life Podcast, then I have, said several times that I do not do any heavy edits. So if I stutter or I mess up, I just leave it in there, because the whole purpose of my podcast is that we're genuine around these parts. So I never want to put anything out that's like fake or phony or just overly done. That's just me. So yeah, my editing takes maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I just add some music and I add my outro, of course, done by my lovely sister Alyssa. But yeah, Audacity is very easy. It's so easy, like I didn't even need a YouTube tutorial on how to use it. It's super simple. So the link to Audacity will be down below, and that is where you will edit your MP3 files and mix them down. So for instance, my music, my actual episode, the outro, they are 3 separate MP3 files, but you need to, bring them down to one so that you can upload them to the next thing that I'm going to be sharing with you. So that's what Audacity does. It helps you to edit, mix it down, turn it into one file. And then finally, you will need to upload them to a host. And I currently use Anchor. Anchor is free. It also I can't talk. And guess what? That's not getting edited. It will also distribute your podcast for you to all of the major platforms. So, your Apple Podcast, your Spotify podcast, Google, Stitcher. You even have the option of uploading it across, all of the internet, wherever people listen to podcasts. But they also provide you with your own landing page as well. So listeners can be directed to your Anchor page and actually listen to your podcast directly from there if they don't have those other options. So I love Anchor. It works for me. Again, it's free, Free, and free is me. And so it does the trick, right? It holds all of my episodes. You even get basic analytics. I can see where my number one listeners are, the age ranges, what percentage are male, what percentage are female. And that can really help you when you're developing your show ideas and topics as well. That's really it, guys. As a quick recap, you need a laptop, microphone, something to record, and some headphones and your voice. That is it. And I am really hoping that this quick episode at least gives you an idea of, again, what I use and where to start. I will link everything down below in the description box for you. But of course, if you have any questions, you know where to find me on Instagram at Jennuine Life, and that's spelled JENNUINELIFE. And of course, you can send me a DM or whatever you need to. If you have any additional questions, I'm happy to help you launch this thing, right? Because, man, no more waiting. It's time to get started. People want to hear your voice. You want to hear your ideas. You have a gift and it needs to be shared. And I don't want you waiting any longer, okay? I wish you tons of luck. I cannot wait to hear your podcast. And I actually hope that I'm a guest one day. Good luck to you, and I will see you next week.